Welcome to Smart Updates, your trusted source for breaking headlines, global insights, and sharp analysis from around the world. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss an update. I don't think people understand just how pivotal Subic Bay is becoming in the global power struggle. Subic Bay, on the western coast of Luzon in the Philippines, is once again in the global spotlight. Its deepwater harbor has long made it a strategic prize for naval powers. Today, the US is considering building a massive ammunition factory here, a move that could reshape in the Indo-Pacific. This isn't just about a factory. It's a bold shift in American military strategy, placing critical resources closer to potential flashpoints. The plan signals a renewed US-Philippine alliance, reinforcing their mutual defense treaty. For the US, it's a logistical game-changer. For the Philippines, it promises economic growth and a stronger defense. But the risks are real. China will see this as a provocation, raising the stakes in an already tense region. Subic Bay could become a symbol of partnership, or a flashpoint for conflict. The world is watching to see if this new stronghold will bring stability or spark escalation. The decision to build here is about more than military might. It's about shaping the future of the region. As the US and Philippines draw closer, the balance of power in Asia is shifting. Subic Bay stands at the crossroads of opportunity and danger. The implications are enormous, and the outcome is far from certain. Will this move secure peace or invite confrontation? Only time will tell. Subic Bay's history is inseparable from the US Navy. After the Spanish-American War, the US transformed it into a major naval base, anchoring its Pacific presence for nearly a century. During World War II and the Cold War, Subic Bay was a vital hub for American operations, supporting fleets and fueling the local economy. The city of Olongapo thrived, with thousands of Filipinos working on the base. But in 1992, Philippine nationalism and a volcanic eruption led to the US departure. The base became a commercial free port, driving economic growth for decades. Yet, the legacy of US presence lingered, economically, culturally, and strategically. Now, as new threats emerge, the US looks to return, not as an occupying force, but as a partner. The proposed ammunition factory is a new chapter, one that could redefine the alliance. Subic Bay's transformation from military outpost to economic engine, and now back to a strategic asset, mirrors the shifting tides of global power. The echoes of the past are growing louder as the US and Philippines face a new era together. The question is, can they build a future that learns from history? Subic Bay's story is far from over. Its next act may be its most consequential yet. The world is watching. The US isn't eyeing Subic Bay by chance. Rising tensions in Asia demand new strategies. Modern warfare burns through ammunition at staggering rates, as seen in Ukraine. Relying on supply lines from North America is slow and risky. A factory at Subic Bay would put munitions close to potential conflict zones, slashing response times. The Philippines' location, near Taiwan and the South China Sea, makes it a perfect hub. Recent political shifts in Manila have opened the door for deeper US cooperation. President Marcos Jr. has welcomed stronger defense ties, granting the US access to more bases. The Enhanced Defense Cooperation Agreement is now bearing fruit. This isn't just about logistics, it's about signaling commitment to allies and adversaries alike. The US wants to show it's not a distant power, but a present force in the region. For the Philippines, it's a chance to modernize its military and assert its sovereignty. The timing is critical. China's assertiveness is growing, and the window for action may be brief. Subic Bay could become the linchpin of a new security architecture. The stakes are high, and the world is watching. The question is, will this move deter conflict or draw it closer? At the heart of the Subic Bay plan is the intensifying US-China rivalry. China's military expansion and assertive claims in the South China Sea have alarmed its neighbors and the US. The US insists on freedom of navigation, regularly challenging China's claims with naval patrols. Taiwan remains a major flashpoint. Any conflict there could draw in the US, Japan, and the Philippines. The Philippines' proximity to Taiwan makes it a strategic asset in any potential crisis. Regional countries are caught between their economic ties to China and security reliance on the US. The US response: strengthen alliances, increase joint exercises, and build new defense infrastructure. The Subic Bay ammunition factory is a key piece of this strategy. It's not just about supplies, it's about sending a message of resolve. China sees these moves as containment, the US calls it deterrence. The region is on edge, with every move watched closely by both sides. Subic Bay is now a chessboard in a high-stakes game. The outcome will shape the future of the Indo-Pacific. The world holds its breath. An ammunition factory at Subic Bay would transform US military logistics in Asia. Local production means faster, safer resupply. No more relying on vulnerable trans-Pacific shipments. This is the essence of distributed lethality, spreading resources to reduce risk and increase flexibility. Pre-positioned munitions could mean the difference between victory and defeat in the opening days of a crisis. The factory would also supply US allies, Japan, Taiwan, Australia, strengthening collective defense. Shared stockpiles and compatible systems make joint operations smoother and more effective. This move turns logistics into a force multiplier for the entire alliance network. It's also a powerful deterrent. A well-supplied, rapidly responding force raises the cost of aggression for any adversary. For China, it's a clear signal. The US is here to stay, and it's investing for the long haul. For allies, it's reassurance that America's commitment is more than words. The presence of the factory could help keep the peace by making war too costly to contemplate, but it also raises the stakes, making any miscalculation more dangerous. Subic Bay could tip the balance in a crisis, or prevent one from starting. The strategic impact is profound. The world is watching to see if this gamble pays off. The future of the region may depend on it. The Subic Bay plan is as much about alliances as it is about arms. For the Philippines, it's a chance to modernize its military and strengthen its sovereignty. The US investment signals a renewed commitment to the Mutual Defense Treaty. Access to local ammunition boosts the Philippines' readiness and confidence. For other allies, Japan, South Korea, Australia, it's a sign that the US is doubling down on regional security. A shared depot at Subic Bay could pave the way for greater interoperability and joint operations. The goal: a resilient, integrated defense network that deters aggression. This united front raises the cost of conflict for any adversary. It also encourages allies to deepen cooperation with each other, not just the US. The message is clear: a threat to one is a threat to all. Subic Bay could become the cornerstone of a new security architecture, but unity must be matched by careful diplomacy. The challenge is to build strength without provoking unnecessary conflict. The world is watching to see if this alliance can hold. For locals, the prospect of a new US-backed factory brings hope and anxiety. Many remember the prosperity the old naval base brought: jobs, investment, and growth. A new factory could revive the local economy, creating thousands of jobs and boosting businesses. But there are fears, too. Subic Bay could become a target in any future conflict. Residents worry about being caught in the crossfire of great power rivalry. Social and environmental concerns linger, memories of past problems, and worries about pollution and safety. Some fear a return of old social issues tied to the US military presence. Environmentalists warn about the risks of hazardous materials and industrial accidents. The community is divided. Some see opportunity, others see danger. The Philippine government must balance economic gains with security and social costs. Local voices are demanding a say in the decision. The stakes are personal as well as geopolitical. The Subic Bay's future will shape not just strategy, but lives. The world is watching how these hopes and fears are addressed. The outcome here will echo far beyond the bay. From Beijing's perspective, a US ammunition factory at Subic Bay is a direct threat. China would see it as part of a broader strategy to contain its rise and encircle its territory. Expect strong diplomatic protests, economic pressure, and a more aggressive posture in the South China Sea. China could respond by militarizing its own outposts and increasing military exercises near the Philippines. The risk: a tit-for-tat cycle of escalation, with each side viewing the other's moves as provocation. The potential for miscalculation or accidental conflict grows. While the US sees deterrence, China may see a reason to act before the factory is operational. This could poison diplomatic efforts and make managing tensions even harder. The factory meant to secure peace could become a catalyst for crisis. The region's stability hangs in the balance. The challenge is to deter aggression without triggering it. Subic Bay is now a test of restraint as much as resolve. The world is watching every move. The Subic Bay proposal puts the Indo-Pacific at a crossroads. It could strengthen deterrence and preserve peace. If it convinces adversaries that conflict is too costly, a credible U.S. presence might create space for diplomacy and stability, but it could also trigger an arms race, pushing China to respond with its own buildup. The region could become more polarized, with neutral countries caught in the middle. The decision to build at Subic Bay is a high-stakes gamble. If it works, it could secure peace for a generation. If it fails, it could spark the very conflict it aims to prevent. The future depends on the choices of leaders in Washington, Manila, and Beijing. Subic Bay, once a quiet harbor, is now a symbol of great power competition. The world is watching to see if it becomes a foundation for peace, or a flashpoint for war. The stakes could not be higher. The next chapter is being written now. Only time will reveal the outcome.